The morning air smells of bread, smoke, and rain. The market is crowded. Merchants shout from wooden stalls. Children run through the muddy streets. Life feels normal. Then you see the rats. At first, there are only a few, a dead one near a barrel. Another beside a horse cart. Then dozens. Their bodies lie scattered across the streets, motionless. Nobody knows why. The adults shrug and keep working. Rats die all the time, but not like this. Not all at once. Not everywhere. Over the next few days, more appear. The streets are covered with them. Cats refuse to go near them. Dogs grow nervous. The town priest says it is a warning from God. Most people laugh. You laugh too. Because the real danger isn't the rats. It's what came with them. Tiny black fleas. Invisible. Hungry. And already spreading from house to house. Right now, your family is safe. Your friends are safe. Your town is alive. But something has arrived from distant lands. Something that will kill millions. And before this story ends, it will come for you too. Level 2. The first death. You are 14 years old. The dead rats no longer surprise anyone. They are everywhere. In the market, in the streets, even inside people's homes. But today is different. Today, for the first time, a person dies. He is a merchant from your neighborhood. Just 3 days ago, he was healthy. Now, his body lies cold and still. People say it started with a fever. Then a dark swelling appeared near his neck. So painful that his screams could be heard through the walls. By the next morning, he was dead. A wave of fear spreads through the town. But people try to explain it away. It's just a sickness. It will pass. You want to believe them. Then 2 more people die. The next day, 5. Then 10. The church bells begin to ring without stopping. Every toll announces another death. People stop shaking hands. They stop embracing their friends. Even smiles begin to disappear. That night, as you lie in bed, you feel fear for the first time. Because the family living across the street is now sick. Every single one of them. And the town physician has no answers. No cure, no medicine, only death. And this is only the beginning, because in the weeks ahead, your town will become a graveyard. You are 14 years old. The sickness has a name now, the plague. People whisper the word as if saying it too loudly might summon death itself. Every morning begins the same way. The bells. One after another. Again and again. The graveyards are full. There is no room left. Workers dig massive pits outside the town walls. Bodies are carried through the streets on wooden carts. Some are wrapped in cloth, some are not. The smell of death hangs in the air. It never leaves. Your best friend stops coming to the market. His mother says he has a fever. 3 days later, his house is silent. No one comes out, no one goes in. You already know what happened. The doctors are helpless. The priests are praying. The rich are fleeing, and the poor are being left behind. Every cough makes people nervous. Every sneeze causes panic. Every knock on the door feels like a death sentence. Then one evening, your younger sister begins to shiver. Her forehead is burning. Your mother places a trembling hand on her head. Nobody says a word. Nobody has to, because everyone knows what comes next. For months, death has been somebody else's problem. Somebody else's family. Somebody else's house. Not anymore. Tonight, the plague has entered your home. Level 4. The black swelling. Your sister's fever does not break. By morning, she can barely speak. Her skin is burning. Her body shakes uncontrollably. Then, your mother finds it. A dark swelling beneath her arm. Large, painful, growing by the hour. The physician arrives and stares at it in silence. He doesn't need to say a word. Everyone in the room already knows. The plague. Your sister cries out whenever she moves. Your mother stays by her side. Your father paces the house, searching for answers that do not exist. Outside, the town is collapsing. Shops stand empty. Roads are deserted.
The sound of church bells has become so constant that nobody notices them anymore. Every day brings more deaths. Every day brings more fear. Then your mother begins to cough. At first, she hides it.
She tells everyone she's fine. But that night, she develops a fever. The next morning, she cannot get out of bed. Now, 2 beds in your house are occupied by the plague. 2 lives hanging by a thread. And for the first time, a terrible thought enters your mind. What if nobody is coming to save us? What if there is no miracle? Because outside your window, the carts are still moving. The bells are still ringing. And death is still hungry. Level 5, the empty streets. You are 14 years old. Your sister is gone. 3 days after the swelling appeared, she stopped breathing. There was no final goodbye. No miracle, no cure, just silence. Your mother barely has time to grieve. The plague is already consuming her too. She grows weaker with every sunrise. Her voice becomes a whisper. Her hands tremble when she reaches for yours. Outside, the town no longer feels alive. The market is abandoned. The baker's ovens are cold. The blacksmith's forge has gone dark. Entire houses stand empty. Doors hang open. No one answers when you knock. The streets belong to the dead now. Carts roll past, carrying bodies piled one on top of another. The drivers no longer stop to count them. There are simply too many. Then, something even worse begins. People stop trusting each other. Neighbors avoid neighbors. Friends cross the street to avoid meeting friends. Families lock their doors and pray the sickness chooses someone else. Fear has become more contagious than the plague itself. One night, your father sits beside you. For the first time in your life, he looks afraid. Not of death, but of helplessness. Because no matter how hard he fights, he cannot protect his family. And deep down, you know the truth. The plague isn't finished with your house yet. Not even close. Level 6. The mass graves. Your mother is dying. The fever has stolen her strength. She can no longer stand. She can barely speak. Most days, she simply stares at the ceiling, too weak to move. You sit beside her bed and hold her hand. You tell yourself she will recover, but deep down, you know the truth. Nobody recovers anymore. Outside, the town has become unrecognizable. The graveyards filled weeks ago. Now, workers dig enormous trenches beyond the walls. Hundreds of bodies are thrown into them every day. No names, no prayers, no funerals. Just endless graves stretching across the earth. The priests cannot keep up. The physicians have given up. Even the gravediggers are dying. Everywhere you look, death is winning. Then, one morning, your mother doesn't wake up. The room is silent. No final words. No last embrace. Just silence. You stare at her motionless face, waiting for her to open her eyes. She never does. Hours later, strangers arrive with a cart. They wrap her body in cloth. Then they take her away. You want to follow. You want to say goodbye, but there is no goodbye anymore. Only another body joining thousands of others. And as the cart disappears down the road, you realize something terrifying. You are not mourning alone. Across the kingdom, millions of people are losing the ones they love. And the plague is still spreading, still killing, still coming closer. Now, there is only one question left. Will you be next? Level 7. The Last Family. The house feels empty now. Too empty. Your sister is gone. Your mother is gone. The laughter that once filled these rooms has vanished. Only you and your father remain. Every morning, you wake up expecting to hear their voices. Every morning, you remember. And every morning, it hurts all over again. Outside, the town is dying. Smoke rises from abandoned homes. Fields sit untouched. Animals wander through empty streets. The world feels broken. Then, one evening, your father begins to cough. Just once, a small cough. Nothing serious, at least that's what he says. But you've heard that cough before. You've heard it from neighbors, from friends, from your mother. Your father sees the fear in your eyes and forces a smile. It's nothing, he says. But the next morning, he has a fever. By nightfall, he can barely stand. You try to help him. You bring water, you light candles, you pray harder than you've ever prayed before. But the plague does not care about prayers. It does not care about hope. It does not care about love. For days, you sit beside his bed, watching, waiting, begging for a miracle. Then, one cold morning, he opens his eyes and looks at you. For a moment, he seems stronger. For a moment, you believe he might survive. Then he whispers 4 words. Stay alive, no matter what. And those are the last words he ever speaks. Now you are alone. Completely alone. A 14-year-old boy in a town of death. And outside your door, the plague is still waiting. Level 8. Alone among the dead. Your father is gone. The house is silent. No voices, no footsteps, no family. Just you. For days, you sit in the darkness, staring at empty chairs and untouched belongings. It doesn't feel real. How can an entire family disappear in a matter of months? How can a home full of life become a tomb? Outside, the plague continues its march. The streets are almost empty now. Many have fled. Many have died. Most have simply vanished. The town that once held thousands now feels like a ghost town. You force yourself to leave the house. Food is running out. The market is deserted. Rotting goods lie abandoned on broken stalls. A dog drags a piece of cloth through the mud. No one stops it. No one cares anymore. As you walk, you notice something strange. The church bells have stopped. For the first time in months, silence. Not because the deaths have ended, but because there is nobody left to ring the bells. That night, a fever wakes you from your sleep. Your body feels hot. Your hands tremble. Your heart begins to race. You know exactly what this means. You've seen it happen too many times. First, the fever, then the pain, then death. You sit alone in the darkness. No physician, no family, No one to help. Only one terrifying thought fills your mind. The plague has finally come for you.
Level 9. The fever. The fever burns through your body like fire. Every breath feels heavier than the last. Your head pounds. Your muscles ache. Even standing up feels impossible. You lie on the floor of your house, staring at the wooden ceiling above you, waiting. You know what comes next. You've seen it happen hundreds of times. The fever, the swelling, the death. You wait for the signs. One day passes. Then another. Still no swelling. Still no black marks. Still no unbearable pain. The fever remains, but something feels different. For the first time in weeks, you manage to stand. Your legs shake beneath you, but you're standing. A few days later, the fever begins to fade, slowly, painfully, but it fades. You step outside into the sunlight. The town is almost unrecognizable. Empty homes line the streets. Shops remain abandoned. Grass grows where crowds once gathered. The plague has taken nearly everyone you knew. Your friends, your neighbors, your family. Gone. Yet somehow, you are still here. You don't know why. No one does. Some call it luck. Others call it fate. A few whisper that God has spared you for a reason. But as you look across the ruined town, none of those answers feel enough. Because survival comes with its own burden. You lived. And now, you must carry the memories of everyone who didn't. The plague is weakening. The deaths are slowing. For the first time in years, there is hope. But the world that emerges from this nightmare will never be the same again. Level 10. The New World. You are 15 years old. A year ago, your town was full of life. Now, it is full of memories. The plague is finally fading. The carts no longer carry mountains of bodies. The mass graves are no longer growing. For the first time in what feels like forever, people are looking toward the future instead of fearing tomorrow. But nothing is the same. Nearly half the town is gone. Entire families have vanished. Homes stand empty. Fields lie abandoned. The world you knew died alongside the millions who never survived. You walk through the streets where you once played as a child. Every corner reminds you of someone you've lost. Your sister, your mother, your father, friends whose names are already beginning to fade from people's memories. The plague took them all, but it didn't take you. And some